Back on Politics Unplugged, your front license plate may soon be moving. Right now, Colorado law requires license plates to be centered, but new cars are adding technology like crash avoidance systems in the center of the bumper, which could be blocked by a centered plate. So Colorado lawmakers are looking to change Colorado's license plate law.
Colorado is the only state in the country that requires our license plate to be right in the middle. So this bill just allows that license plate to float along that front bumper.
The things you learned by hanging out at the state legislature, Marianne Goodland.
Fascinating.
Marianne Goodland, of course, the chief State House reporter for ColoradoPolitics.com is here. Good to see you. Last time I saw you, we were both at the state legislature on the floor of the House when that historic expulsion vote took place. It was interesting because I think a lot of people knew that there was Democratic support for that, but would the Republicans support as well? And speech after speech, emotional speech after speech, perhaps we saw some minds changed.
I think that's definitely true. I don't think anybody in the press corps or even in the House would have made a bet that that expulsion vote was going to go through at 9 o'clock Friday morning. We knew that there were a couple of Democrats who were kind of on the fence about this. The Republicans have been very clear about where they were. They wanted to see a select committee investigate the Speaker of the House. But nobody on the Republican caucus had actually come out and said, yes, I'll vote for expulsion. That everything really changed when House Minority Leader Cole Wiss got up, and the first thing that he said, or one of the first things he said, was, I believe you, to Representative Faith Winter, who was the first person to come forward on these accusations. And he's an employment lawyer, and I think his words carried a great deal of weight. And he also made the point that the Republican caucus seized on pretty quickly about the 28-page manifesto that Representative Lebsack put in the mailboxes of every member of the House the day before the session started. To Representative Wiss, this was clear-cut retaliation. That opened the door, and that was the end of it.
So we obviously heard some strong words from Representative Wiss, but also many lawmakers really became candid and talked about personal experiences about sexual harassment, even sexual assault. I don't think we have seen lawmakers so emotional in quite some time.
In 20 years at the Capitol, I've never seen the level of emotion that we saw in the House. Not only did you have representatives talking about their experiences, the experiences of their family members. You had two lawmakers who got up and said they'd been wearing bulletproof vests, and you heard a gasp in the chamber when that first admission came out from Alec Garnett.
Yes, and Representative Gray as well.
And Representative Gray as well.
So let's talk about the Senate, because right now there is one potential expulsion resolution that has been introduced.
Correct.
There are also investigations taking place. The House, as much criticism as they have received about perhaps the handling of this, the House did act, and now it's moving forward. The Senate, this is still lingering. From a political standpoint, this is becoming an everyday story as lawmakers are criticizing Senate leadership for failing to act.
And that's true. Every day this past week, a member of the Senate Democratic Caucus has gone to the Senate podium to say we need to run this resolution. The resolution has not been introduced, and Senate President Kevin Grantham has quite a bit of time before he actually has to act, but at some point he does have to introduce it, and he could hold off on this until April 12th or 13th, which means that until that resolution gets introduced, I think you're going to see somebody getting up every day and say, let's get this out. The resolution is for the expulsion of Senator Randy Baumgardner. We've already seen one report come out on an allegation against him that the investigator found credible. And Senator Baumgardner was allowed to resign his chairmanship of the Senate Transportation Committee, and he also has to take sensitivity training, which is basically what everyone is having to take right now. So there's some real angst by the Senate Democrats about this, but the way that Senator Grantham has handled this, at least to date, has made this a daily story, and it will continue to be.
Sure, I didn't mean to sound callous to say it's a political story. Obviously, these are very serious allegations. Yeah. Real quickly, in the remaining time, we have transportation. We have Senate Bill 1, the lawmakers' method to all of this. We have the Chamber and other organizations with a ballot initiative, and now there is more to talk about.
Correct. Colorado Concern, which is a business group, and their partners have come up with a ballot initiative that they introduced at the end of last week that would seek to increase the specific ownership tax on vehicles to pay for transportation projects. Now, if you look at the documents you get from your local motor vehicles office, you'll see a little line that says specific ownership tax. That's what they're going after here. And President Grantham talked about this. He was dismissive of it, largely because we're looking at the possibility of as many as 4 ballot measures on the ballot in November, and the more competition you have on these topics, the less likely any of them are going to pass.
Well, we'll both be busy.
Oh, yes.
You're always busier, though, than me, so I appreciate it. Marianne, good to see you. I'll see you down the street, hopefully, in the next few days.
Thank you.
A reminder, if you've got a question or segment idea, tweet us at the Denver Channel, at Denver7Politics. Also, don't forget, you can watch any of today's segments anytime online on thedenverchannel.com. Just go /Politics Unplugged. On that note, thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics Unplugged.